Hey there everybody, DestroyerX here, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play that I actually recorded last month, and I'm just now commentating on now. So, yeah. This is the very first video game I have ever played in my entire life, and it is the inaugural game of the Super Mario Bros. Series, which is called Super Mario Bros. That's right. Super Mario Bros. It was released in Japan on the Nintendo Family Computer, or Famicom, on September 13th, 1985. Sometime in 1985, it was also released in North America on the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was released in Europe on the Nintendo Entertainment System on May 15th, 1987. And sometime in 1987, it was also released on the Nintendo Entertainment System in Australia. So that's basically the release dates. And the backstory of this game goes something like this. Princess Toadstool, she is the ruler of a section of the mushroom world called the Mushroom Kingdom. And one day the evil Bowser and the Koopas, they invade the Mushroom Kingdom, and Bowser uses his black magic to turn the mushroom people into objects such as bricks, blocks, horsehair plants, things of that nature. So that's pretty much, and not to mention the fact he captures the seven mushroom retainers, and he also captures Princess Toadstool. So enter Mario and Luigi, who come to the Mushroom Kingdom, and they pretty much go through the 8 worlds that you'll see in this game to liberate the entire Mushroom Kingdom, save the mushroom retainers, and save Princess Toadstool. But don't worry, you don't have to worry about not having any kind of help, because you have several power items that you can use along the way. For example, if you are normal Mario, which is basically Mario about the size of I don't know, of a block or something like that, you can grab a Super Mushroom, and that will turn normal Mario into Super Mario. And while Super Mario is enlarged, he can grab a Fire Flower, and he can also become Fire Mario. Fire Mario, he has the ability to throw fireballs. And of course, if Super Mario or Fire Mario, if they get hit by any enemies, they revert back to normal Mario. And if they get hit again, then of course, well, Mario loses a life. This game is 2 players, of course. You can play, if you're playing with in 2-player mode, the second player will actually control Luigi, which is Mario's brother, and he controls the exact same as Mario in this game. There are some other items in this game in which will help Mario and Luigi on their way. For example, occasionally you'll find some blocks that will contain a star called a Starman. If you grab the Starman, you're granted temporary invincibility from enemies. And also, there are some blocks that will contain a greenish mushroom called a 1-up mushroom. You grab that mushroom, you're granted a 1-up. But that's not the only way to get a 1-up in this game, no siree. Another way to get a 1-up in this game is you can grab 100 coins, and if you do that, you get a 1-up automatically. So you are encouraged to grab as many coins as humanly possible, because some of the later levels, they can be quite difficult. The earlier levels, not so much, but the later levels, definitely. Now, as far as the enemies in this game, well, we've already buzzed through part of the game, almost the entire World 1 already, and we haven't talked about the enemies yet. So let's talk about them now. Those brown things that we saw at the beginning of the game, those are Goombas. They are the weakest enemy in the game, and all you have to do is stomp on them to destroy them. There are also turtles that are called Koopa Troopas. They come in 2 shelled varieties. There is the green shelled Koopa Troopas, which will walk in a straight line and will not deviate from that pattern unless they hit an object that will allow them to deviate from that pattern. There are also the red shelled Koopa Troopas, which they will actually turn around whenever they get to an obstacle, and after that they will pretty much go the other way. So they are a bit smarter than the red shelled brethren. There are piranha plants, which we saw in the Underground World 1-2, which the piranha plants, they come out of pipes. and the only way to defeat a piranha plant is to either use a Starman or use a fire flower. And of course, we also have seen, let's see, what else? Well, that's pretty much about it so far. Yeah. And of course, in each world, of course, there are 4 levels. The 4th level in each world, you'll go into a Bowser Castle. And inside the Bowser Castle, you'll actually face off, except for World 8-4, you'll actually face off against one of Bowser's minions disguised as Bowser. And the only way to reveal the minion's true form, of course, is to pummel him or her with fireballs. Of course, the easiest way to defeat a minion, of course, would be just to use that axe at the end of the Bowser level. But yeah, this is a beanstalk, which we can use to basically, if we hit the beanstalk block, we can actually dong 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 dong. I love that dance. I don't know why. I've always been amused by it. But yeah, the beanstalks, they tend to lead to these open areas. Well, vast majority of them do. Some of them do not, which I'll get into that here in a second. There are sections in the game in which you can actually warp to areas later in the game. For example, there is a warp zone in World 1-2 that would have taken us to Worlds 2, 3, or 4. And in World 4, there's actually a warp zone that will take us to World 5. There's also a warp zone that will take us to World 6, 7, and 8. But I'm not going to be using warp zones in this particular Let's Play. I'm not going to even talk about it, so there's not going to be an extra video. But you know what? They just go on Wikipedia. Not Wikipedia. Go on Game FAQs, or just look at another video on YouTube. And those lovely little squid-like monsters, octopus-like monsters, those are called bloopers. Of course, in this game, they are called bloopers. They are named bloopers all the way up until Paper Mario. And then after that, well, they get changed to bloopers. Those fish right there, those are Cheep Cheeps. Some Cheep Cheeps, they just swim in a straight line, and others, they will bob up and down every so often. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Obviously, you can't defeat Cheep Cheeps in the water. You can't defeat bloopers in the water as well without using a fire flower to actually throw fireballs at them. So what else can I say about this game? Well, it's a relatively short game. If you don't do warps, you'll probably get through it in about 40 to 45 minutes. If you warp, you'll probably get through it in about 30 minutes or so. I'd take probably around 50 minutes, maybe. I don't know. The controls are relatively simple. For example, the directional pad, there's the left, right, down, which will allow you to either move left, move right, or duck. The up button, up on the directional pad will actually, you can't use it except if you're on a vine, because if you're on a vine, you can actually, beanstalk vine, you can actually climb up a beanstalk. Otherwise, up doesn't serve any other function in the game. Start will actually pause the game. Select, you can use it at the start menu to select 1 player or 2 players. You can actually also use the A button to jump, and the B button is the action button, which you can use what you can do is if you hold down the B button while pressing the directional pad to the left or right, you can actually move left or right a lot faster. So that's called running. If you are using the if you are using the B button and you have a fire flower, you can throw fireballs. And of course, that's me dying. Yeah, I don't actually edit out deaths in this battle. I mean, in this run. So you're gonna see me die a few times, and that is perfectly okay because sometimes I suck. But that's okay. I never said I was a professional video gamer. As you can see, the Cheep Cheeps, they are jumping out of who knows where, and they are actually able to use their fins to glide a little bit. So yeah, they become aerial nuisances. Not much else I can do about that except try my best not to lose more lives. Yeah. But, yes, I almost forgot. This is actually the very first Let's Play I am doing with my new Blue Yeti microphone. So, I'll be using this for the rest of my Let's Plays unless my Yeti breaks. Hopefully it does not, but if it does, then I will be using my headset again. So yes, what else can I say? I'm also using Goldwave for the actual recording process, because what I used to do is I used to use Avid Studio as an audio editor, because I would watch the video in Avid Studio and I would commentate on it in Avid Studio. So I'm actually running Windows Media Player, and I am actually running Goldwave at the same time doing my commentary. Those fireballs that seem to leap out of the lava, those are lava bubbles. However, in this game, they're called potoboos, and those things right there that are spinning, that have the fireballs on them, those are fire bars, and they're pretty self-explanatory. But we've reached the end of 2-4 already. Oh wow! And let's see who is the monster behind the costume. I don't know, but I'm about ready to find out here in a second. Ooh, it was a Koopa Troopa. So Koopa Troopa disguised himself as Bowser, or more or less, Bowser basically you cast a magic spell on a Koopa Troopa. And of course, those are the mushroom retainers. There are 7, and there are 7 overall. And then of course, after that, there's Princess Toadstool and World 8, Level 4. So not too bad. We've already gone through 2 worlds so far, and there are only, 6 more to go. Not bad. One thing I will note about piranha plants that I forgot to note already is that piranha plants, they will not come out of their pipes if you are standing next to the pipe, or if you're standing on top of the pipe. They will not come out. I guess they are scared. So, yeah. Yeah. That'll help you out a little bit. So, not too much, but it'll help you out a little bit, because obviously you have to eventually keep going at some point. So, let's see what else we have going on. Just fry those Goombas right there. I'm trying to find a 1-up block here, but I just couldn't find it. I know there's one there, I just wasn't hitting the right spot. Sometimes you have to hit the spot just right in order to pop out the 1-up mushrooms and whatnot. It's so annoying, but you know what? It's okay, I don't mind. I'll live. But we have a Starman, yes! And those are the Hammer Brothers. They are some of the most annoying characters in the game. And the reason why is because they lob their hammers, and they can jump through platforms, and it's just, their movements are so blah. You have to use some careful timing to, of course, dodge the Hammer Brothers, or you can, of course, if you have a Fire Flower, you can just throw fireballs at them, and that'll be the end of it. Or if you have a Starman, you can just run into them, and that'll defeat them instantly. After a while, if you are basically standing around doing nothing, and eventually, I think it's like 100 seconds or 120 seconds, the Hammer Brothers will start coming towards you, so you can't dilly-dally for too long. But I love these cloud areas because I can get coins, which makes my life a lot easier. The more coins I get, the better my chances are of getting a 1-up, which is awesome. I'm almost running out of time. Oh no! Yes, you run out of time. If the time reaches 0, you lose a life. And over there's actually a trick that you can use with that Koopa Troopa to actually get some 1-ups with it, because if you rack up so many points by jumping on enemies in a row without landing on the ground and stopping, you can actually get a 1-up. I've never been able to pull it off, but I've seen people do it. I can't do it, but I've seen people do it. Now, there are some people that are wondering, is it possible to jump over the flagpole? The answer is yes. I have seen videos confirming that to be true. So yeah. Green Koopa paratroopas, they just bounce, bounce, bounce. They don't fly up and down or anything like that. They just bounce. The red Koopa Troopas, they fly up and down. The red Koopa paratroopers, I mean. I'm sorry. So yeah, we are just moseying right along, aren't we? 15 minutes in, and you know, not bad. Not bad at all. Ha ha ha. But yeah, this game isn't too long. It's not too difficult either. I mean, I had trouble with it as a kid, but in all honesty, the game is not too difficult. You can get, if you warp, you'll get through it in about 30 minutes. If you don't warp, you'll probably get through it in like 45 minutes or so. Maybe an hour, I don't know. I don't remember how long it took me. I think it took me about an hour to get through it because I kept losing lives near the end, but it's okay. Sometimes I suck. I really, really suck. But it's okay. I am not a professional. Now, at the end of... You see the flagpoles right there? If it has to do with the points that you have when you touch the flagpole, and also deals with how much time you have left. But you can actually... you can actually have some fireworks go off that will rake you some extra points. If you care about that. I do not. But I thought I would mention it, but I don't care about points. Because, to me, points are meaningless. It's not like I'm gonna rack up some extra lives from the points, because I will not. But let's see, what's the fake Bowser? Who's imitating Bowser this time? I don't know, but I'm about ready to find out. That's not Koopa Troopa. I wonder what that is. Well, I know what it is, but I'm trying to leave you in suspense. But we will talk about that here in just a moment, because we are now entering World 4-1. That's right, we're almost halfway done with the LP. Oh my, oh my, oh my. And that creature right there, that turtle creature, that is Lackey 2. Lackey 2's only purpose in life is to drop spiny eggs from his cloud. And once the spiny eggs touch the ground, they hatch into spinies. And the only way you can there's only two ways you can defeat spinies. You can either use a fireballs from a fire flower power-up, or you can use a Starman, and that's about it. But other than that, Lackey 2 will lob them relentlessly. You can only have so many Lackey 2s on the screen at once. I think it's like the maximum is 4. So yeah, I don't remember I think that's the maximum amount is 4. And then after that, Lackey 2 won't actually throw any more spiny eggs until some of the spinies actually walk off the screen. 4-2 is another area in which you can warp, and you can actually warp to either World 5, World 6, World 7, or World 8. Since I will not be taking the warp, I'm not going to be messing with it, because why am I warping? Why would I want to warp? I want to show you all the levels in the game, so therefore, I am not going to be warping at all. But this is a spot in which you can warp. There's actually a beanstalk inside that block right there. So, yeah. Thought I should mention that. And that thing right there, that thing that does not look like a turtle, that is a Buzzy Beetle. Buzzy Beetles are invulnerable to fireballs, which means the only way you can defeat a Buzzy Beetle is to use a Starman. One thing that is important to note is that if you stomp on a Buzzy Beetle or you stomp on a Koopa Troopa, you can actually, cause it to retract into its shell, and then you can kick it. Isn't that awesome? I think so. If you stomp on the shell of a green or a red Koopa Paratroopa, you can actually cause it to lose its wings, and then stomping on it again will cause it to retract into its shell. After a while, they will exit their shell. They'll actually, when the coast is clear, they'll actually, pop out of their shells and start walking around again, so. But it's a good thing to do in case you want to, causing them to retract in their shells is definitely a good thing, so that way you have one less obstacle to worry about unless you kick it. So yeah, now we're in World 4-3. Oh my. We're almost done with the first part of the LP. That is incredible. It is incredible. It is magical. It is awesome gravy sauce. But yeah, it's a very simplistic platformer. You just go from one end of the level to the other end of the level and try not to die. How simple is that? It's actually pretty simple. Some of the levels in later worlds, they do end up reusing some of the same levels over and over. I mean, not over and over, but they use it at least an additional time. But yeah, it's not. It just means that when you face the second version of it, it's slightly harder, but not that much harder. So yeah. World 4-4. This Bowser castle is a puzzle castle. What that means is that this castle, if you don't go a certain way, the level will loop over and over again. So just follow me and you will be able to get through the castle. But yeah, the LP is pretty much, the first part's almost done. So I cannot comment on comments because I don't have Google Plus linked to my account, but you can check out my website, www.christophereastman.com. Send me some comments there or check me out on Twitter. But we are done with part 1, so I will catch you all next time. So until then, take care everybody, and ciao for now.